Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today's video I'm going to talk to you about certain claims, marketing gimmicks the brands just love to indulge in because they love the fear mongering, because that's what brings the consumers to buy their products. And there are just some claims, some marketing gimmicks that you should not fall for, and that's what we're going to be discussing in today's video. We have a lot to talk about, which is why I don't want to make the intro super duper long. But yeah, in case you're new to my channel, please make sure you subscribe. It would mean the absolute world to me. And now let's jump right into it. Now, the first three claims I feel like are very common. You will see a lot of brands kind of market their products as sulfate free, paraben free, or preservative free. Now, in certain cases, it might be a good thing that they are marketing those things, because some of these might not work for certain people. So, for example, sulfates. Sulfates are surfactants, and surfactants are basically products like body washes, like face washes, like which other products can I talk about? I think those are the main kind of products that tend to have surfactants, which is what causes the lather and which is what cleanses your skin or your body. And sulfates are one of the most common and probably one of the most affordable surfactants out there, and there are certain people who it doesn't work for. I know one of my friend, her dermat has told her that you're not supposed to be using it because she has other allergies and other problems that sulfates can cause for her, which is why she tends to go for sulfate free products, and she tends to prefer other surfactants in her products. But just because sulfates have been demonized in a certain way, if you are choosing to not go for sulfate free products, even though it's fine, it can tend to be a little bit more expensive, because generally sulfate free products can be a little bit more expensive as compared to products that use sulfates. And if it is not necessary for you, if you don't have any kind of problem with sulfates, then it's just going to end up being more expensive for you to go for sulfate free options. So I think that is something you should definitely consider, that if products with sulfates genuinely don't tend to work for you, if they dry out your skin, or if you know your doctor has told you to stay away from sulfates, that I think is a totally different scenario. But just because everyone else is hating on sulfates, you choose to not use sulfates in your products, I just think that that is kind of pointless and meaningless, and it's something that you should definitely consider. Moving on next to parabens. Now, parabens are something that have been again demonized to be carcinogenic, which also means that there are certain studies that show that parabens in products can cause cancer, but it's something that is not studied and researched thoroughly enough. There are still studies going on, there is still a lot of research being going on it. And parabens are basically preservatives. I will talk about preservative free in just a second, but parabens are basically preservatives, and they are one of the most safest preservatives that are used in skincare products. So which is why when a product is claiming to be paraben free, it's just a marketing gimmick. They are trying to use the studies, the very few studies that have been done, and basically try to say that products which have parabens in them can cause cancer. Now, a lot of times the products that you are applying on your skin, they don't penetrate deep enough to go into your bloodstream and try to cause things like cancer. So I think that's something you should be doing more research on before just blindly believing the marketing gimmicks that are out there. Moving on next again to preservative free. Now, what are preservatives? Preservatives, be it in food, be it in skincare, be it makeup, are basically what kind of prevent your products from going bad. Generally, when you see that there are certain products and brands which are preservative free, the shelf life of those products is a lot lesser. And if you are someone who is a very minimalist, like if your skincare routine, your makeup routine is super minimal, you don't have a lot of products in your skincare collection either, it's maybe a little bit more easy for you to use up products within like 3 to 6 months. But if you are someone like me who has a larger skincare collection, you tend to like to experiment with products, you have a lot of different products in your skincare routine and in your skincare collection, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to use our products if they tend to not have preservatives, and if they tend to go bad relatively quickly, you will probably not be able to use the products before they go bad. So I think that is something you definitely need to consider. Also, preservatives are very important, because if your product is going to grow mold in it, if it's going to go bad super soon, you're basically not going to be able to use it after that, and a lot of money is going to go down the drain. So it's very important to have preservatives in your products. If you are a part of the Instagram beauty community, then I feel like in the last 6 months, there are a lot of products and a lot of brands that are preservative free, and people have found that there is mold growing in them, and these are not cheap things. These are products that are priced anywhere between 1,000 to like 2,500. So these are expensive products, and if they're going mold in them, your money is basically going down the drain. So it's very important to know that your products have preservatives, because then they will not go bad that soon, or they will not grow mold in them that can basically just ruin the product. Your money goes down the drain, and it can also end up ruining your skin as well. So yeah, that is something you definitely need to be very, very, very aware of. Moving on next, um, when people say that, oh, a little bit of sunscreen goes a super long way because there are newer formulations coming out, and that is something which I want to believe is true. But again, we don't have enough studies, because if you know about all the different sunscreen scandals that have been going on, especially with K Beauty sunscreen, like the Purito one, like the Claire's one, when it comes to hybrid formulations, I'm still not very, very convinced that a little bit of sunscreen will go a long way, or the hybrid formulations are really that innovative. Like, it's difficult to put your trust into them, which is why it's very important you use the right amount and you use the sufficient amount of sunscreen. And if any brand is ever telling me that you can just use a little bit of sunscreen and this is going to go a super long way because it's an innovative formulation, I don't believe that. I just don't. I cannot. I mean, sunscreen is something I take very, very seriously, because not using sunscreen can cause a lot of problems. It can cause hyperpigmentation, it can cause skin cancer, and that is just the beginning. There are so many other skin issues that you can face, and personally, I have acne prone skin as well. So if you're not using sunscreen, it can also aggravate your acne. It can make your the marks that acne can tend to leave behind, it can make them really dark and deep, and it's going to take forever to get rid of those. So yeah, that is something you also again need to keep in mind, and just go with what you know, go with what dermats say. I've been doing a little bit more research on sunscreens that dermats have been recommending, and yes, they can be a little bit more expensive, which is why I'm trying to make the rest of my routine a little bit more affordable, so that if I have to spend a little bit more money on good sunscreens out there. Yes, I know I mentioned in the past that sunscreens are something that I'm going to stop experimenting on, which because I found my favorites, but maybe I'm going to, maybe not right now, but maybe after a while, still branch out and maybe try some more options. That's something I'm still considering. It's not something that I have you know made a decision on, but yeah, sunscreen is something that you do need to take very, very seriously, and use the right amount of sunscreen. So yeah, that's another gimmick that I do not believe. I absolutely do not believe. Moving on next, chemical free skincare. Oh my god, okay, this is something that honestly makes me laugh when a brand says it, oh, we're chemical free. If the brand has water, which is one of the main ingredients, it is the universal solvent. If a brand has water in any of their products and they're telling you they're chemical free, they're basically lying to you on your face. So most products, even though the names might sound like, oh, this is like a natural extract or something like that, everything is a chemical. You are a faking chemical. So harmful chemicals are very different from chemicals in general. Anything that is lab synthesized, it's basically going to be made of chemicals, and chemicals need to be like, you need to stop demonizing chemicals. Harmful chemicals are very different from you and I and water and sodium lauryl sulfate and all the actives, vitamin C, niacinamide. These are all chemicals. So yeah, chemical free skincare is a lie and it's a big joke. And it's something that I do not want you to believe. So, yes, please keep that in mind. Moving on next. This one is one that I feel like I have briefly spoken about and I will continue to talk about on my channel. But that is brands that claim that, you know what, your whole skincare routine needs to be made of our products. You need to use our face wash, our toner, our essence, our serum, our moisturizer, our sunscreen. Like, if you don't use all products from our skincare, like from our skincare selection or like from our range, you're not gonna get all the benefits. Why? I mean, if your products are, can only be used with other products from your brand, then are you even doing a good job at, making those products? Because I think people should be given the liberty to pick and choose whatever they want and then leave the rest, because it's not necessary that if your serum works for me, your moisturizer will also work for me, and your toner and your face wash, like everything from your brand will work for me. It's not necessary. It's very hard even for me to pick one brand that everything works from them. Okay, there are always hits and there are always misses from every single brand. So when a brand says that blatantly in their products or in their marketing or on their packaging, that just puts me off and I'm less likely to try out products from them, because I'm just like, you know what, you should not be fooling your customers that way and you should not be using that kind of marketing to upsell your products. It's just not ethical. It's just not, it doesn't leave me with a good feeling in general. So yeah, please stay away and please be more conscious about those things. And again, like I mentioned, it's something I'm going to be talking about more on my channel. So yeah, stay tuned. Moving on next. When products say that they're fragrance free, but then they have essential oils in them. Again, one of those marketing gimmicks where people are trying to fool you that, oh, natural fragrance is not as bad as synthetic fragrance. Fragrance is fragrance. And yes, I know that there has been this debate on where people always say that, oh, fragrance is not the biggest demon when it comes to skincare. And yes, that's completely true. Fragrance is not a demon when it comes to skincare. There are certain people who cannot use fragrance in their products because they have more sensitive skin. There are other people like me who just would tend to like reduce the amount of fragrance in their products and would not want to have fragrance in every single one of their products. So I like some fragrance free options, but then there are also some other products which I really love, and because they have fragrance in them, I just kind of try to look past it. But yeah, I try to reduce the amount of fragrance as much as possible in my skincare. But keeping all of that aside, when it comes to brands putting essential oil and claiming that, oh, natural fragrance is not bad, natural fragrance can be just as harmful as synthetic fragrance, if not more. And that is something we all need to be aware of, which is why I treat essential oils just the way like I treat synthetic fragrance. If I don't use products with synthetic fragrance in them, I also try to avoid products with essential oils in them, because again, like I said, it's just the same. It's just the same. And in fact, a lot of times there have been studies which have been done which say that essential oils can be photosensitive as well. Synthetic fragrance again can be controlled and you know how much you're putting in it, but when it comes to essential oils, they can be a little bit more harmful than even synthetic fragrance. So yeah, that's something you need to be aware of, which is why you need to be reading your ingredient lists really well. And talking about ingredients list, the last one that I have to talk to you guys about is that when a product claims that, oh, it is a vitamin C serum, or it is, it's an AHA, BHA, you really need to look through the ingredients list and you need to know if the brand is, truly being honest about it or if they're just lying. I'm not telling you that you need to, check the ingredients list to see that if it says it's a vitamin C serum, the vitamin C should be the first ingredient. No, that's not what I'm saying. But if a product is saying it's a vitamin C serum, you should really be seeing if it has any vitamin C ingredients in the in the ingredient list or not. There are times, and this is something that I've personally experienced as well, that there are times where a product claims that, oh, it has vitamin A, B, and C, it has this ingredient, that ingredient. But when you actually look through the ingredients list, they basically put a lot of natural extracts, especially when it comes to vitamin C. A lot of times they put more natural vitamin C options. And yes, there are certain natural vitamin C's like this kakadu plum, which has a more higher concentration of vitamin C. But then there are other ingredients which might not really have a lot of vitamin C at all. It's like basically close to nothing. And then also, if the ingredient is like right at the bottom of the ingredients list, it's really telling you that there is really not much in there. So basically that's just false marketing, that is false advertising, and brands need to be a little bit more clear, upfront and honest about it, but they don't end up doing that, which is why you need to be a conscious consumer. And these are all some things that you need to be more aware of when you're shopping for products, when you're using products in your skincare routine. These are all things that you need to be aware of, which is why I wanted to make this video and share all of this with you. So I really hope that you found it helpful. If you did, then please make sure you subscribe and let me know some feedback that you might have for me in the comment section. If you agree with some of these things, if you disagree with some of those things, I would love to know your feedback down below in the comment section. So please leave that down there. And yes, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Until next time, bye bye.